Hello everybody, welcome back to Fox's Best Laid Plans, the planner channel where everybody's anxious and nothing ever goes the way it's supposed to. Hello, I'm back from vacation, only 14 hours later than I was supposed to be back. It's a long story that involves a lot of unexpected time in airports in Dallas. Airports and Dallas, my humans. Okay, this is the last week that you saw planned, because this is the last week that I did plan. This is the week that we left for vacation. We left on Friday. I'm going to go back and fill this in, and I'm also going to go in and fill in. My plan had been, before we left, to film a plan, like a plan with me, for this week of like filling in where we were going to be and like putting in spaces for me to write in which wineries we went to, what hikes we did, blah, blah, blah. I just didn't have time. I didn't have any time at all. This week was just chaotic before we left, leading up to leaving. And the day before we left was especially chaotic. But you know what? We left, we went on our trip. It was wonderful. So I'm going to go through, this is going to be my Thursday video this week. There's not going to be a vlog on Thursday this week. My Thursday video is going to be, I'm going to call it like memory keeping week with me. So I'm going to go back and fill in these things, talk about what we did on the trip here, and then I'm going to fill in, I have a kit that I had bought when we were supposed to go on this trip in 2020 that originally got scheduled and then canceled and, rescheduled. So I'm going to do that as a video on Thursday. So we are right now planning the week of Monday, April 19th through Sunday, April 25th in my Gooseby Twins planner. This is Monday, April 19th, and that, breathe, is a really fucking good reminder today because I am so stressed right now. Okay, I know I got back from vacation. I should be like relaxed and ready to take on the earth, but I am not. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I'm stressed about. I'm also going to talk some about issues that I have with body image, but I promise I will like put a warning in case anybody doesn't want to hear about that stuff. I'm going to talk about it in the context of planning out my week a little bit, but I will like warn when I'm going to start talking about that so that you can like mute or fast forward at that point and then come back in afterwards if you don't want to hear about that stuff, because I know that's not an easy topic for everybody to hear, and I don't want you to be like, what the fuck? I will tell you that I'm going to talk about it. Cool? Okay, cool. So I'm using this kit from Pansy's Prints. It's these little sleepy dragons. I used the other counterpart to this kit before, which was the Just Hatched, I believe it's called. And I was thinking about just reusing that, and then I saw that she had this one of like the nighttime. I might have used this at some point too, but the nighttime, it's called Frosty Dreams, but it's like little nighttime sleepy dragons, because I feel like a sleepy dragon right now. This was like, we are notorious for having non-relaxing vacations. Like, I'm not trying to say that we should have had a relaxing vacation. We are not the type of people who are like, we're gonna go to the beach and sit on the beach and read and relax and whatever. We're not that, that's just not how we are. And that's fine. And I like that we like to see a bunch of different things, but it does lend to being like a bit chaotic when we get back. Because I feel like I didn't relax on the trip because I wanted to see everything. And so then I'm like, oh God, now I have to go back into life. So like my house is in shambles. That's another thing. Normally, typically before we leave for a big trip like this, so this was 10 days. Before we leave for a big trip like this, I try to get the house cleaned. I always change the sheets like the day before, the day while I'm packing, the day before we leave. I always change the sheets so there's fresh sheets when we get back. I, take out the trash, clean out the fridge, do all that stuff. But I like to have the house in order because it's like sucks to come home to a messy house whenever you've been away, If you're already like bummed that vacation is over and then that happens, right? So I did not do that this time because I just did not have the time for it. And this kind of matches. I thought this would match better. This is like I don't know where this is from. It just says washi tape. I want to say this is from Oh Hello Stationery. It's like stars, like nighttime. I thought it would match better with this, but this has got more blue than purple in it. I'm realizing as I'm putting it down, but it's still cute, whatever. Anyway, so I've come home to chaos all over my house. Like even my desk was like a mess because I was trying to save on weight in my bag. And so like I have a charger bag that just holds like all the chargers that we have. And I like took out all the duplicates, which almost ended up biting me in the ass because then we needed, yeah, that's fine. My one phone charger just crapped out, my USB. And so I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I don't have another one besides my car charger. And then I did end up having one spare one. I brought 2 phone chargers, so thankfully I lucked out there. But I was like, I was trying so hard to like bring the bare minimum, and I don't know. I'm a like chronic overpacker because I can never visualize what I need. Like, I even go to the extreme of like every day I write down the high and the low temperature for the day, what things we'll be doing, how many outfits I need. Like, I need a hiking outfit. It will be 40 degrees when we're hiking, and then I need, during the day, it'll be 75, so I need a wine tasting outfit, and then at dinner, I'll need a sweater because it's gonna be cold and we're sitting out, whatever. I even go to that extreme, and it's still, like, I still end up overpacking, so. I think I did a little bit better this time. I mean, we were still, like, right at the 50-pound mark. If you do not own a luggage scale, let me tell you that you need to get one if you travel at all, because it's a lifesaver. And I actually felt good because the TSA agent in both directions was like, good job, you got exactly to 50 pounds. I was like, girl, I have a luggage scale. That's the only way this happened. So that was a big help. But we did have a really, really wonderful time. We saw some awesome shit, did some good hikes, went to Joshua Tree and Big Sur, tasted some great wines, had some amazing dinners. I ate dinner indoors one time. I ate breakfast indoors one time. So I'm like slowly acclimating myself into real life. And in fact, tonight we were supposed to go to the Cage for dinner, and we ended up deciding to just get takeout because I was like, okay, here's what happened. Every year we do the same thing. We fly out on Saturday and then we fly home on Monday. So we fly out like 10 days time. So we fly out Saturday morning. Our flight leaves at 7 a.m.-ish from Pittsburgh, goes to Phoenix, connects in Phoenix, and we go to SLO, San Luis Obispo, and that arrives at like 10:30 or 11 in the morning. We do the same thing every time. The flight home is on a Monday. It leaves at about 12:30, and then we get home. We connect again in Phoenix, because SLO only connects, well, they might have expanded. They just recently remodeled their airport, but until recently at least, they only connect to Phoenix, San Francisco, and LAX. So you don't really have very many options, but that always worked out perfectly. So we would connect in Phoenix, and then we would arrive home. You lose 3 hours time, and we would arrive home around 10:30-ish, 10 o'clock or 10:30 on Sunday night. Never been a problem. We've been doing this since 2010 was the first year we did it. It's never been an issue. Well, this year they didn't have those flights available. First of all, we decided to fly to make it work better with my work schedule and vacation hours. We decided to do Friday through Sunday instead of Saturday through Monday. But that 12:30 flight coming home was like every day, the 12:30 to Phoenix. Well, it's no longer offered. It's now a 6 a.m. And I just felt like the day that you're like going out on vacation, a 6 a.m. flight is like, whatever, fine. You're hyped up, you're excited anyway, it doesn't matter. But a 6 a.m. flight when you're coming home, that means to me like your last night is like abbreviated, because your last night is going to be entirely like running around, packing, getting everything ready, like you're going to be scrambling, and you're always a little element of that too, even when you have a later flight on the morning on the way home. But honestly, it's like, I don't know. And then also, since we are at the beach the last day, we like to like get up and walk on the beach in the morning, have a breakfast together, one last breakfast, that kind of stuff. So what we decided to do was we could drive to Santa Barbara, which is about 80 minutes from SLO, and they had the 12:30 flight. So that has been moved to the Santa Barbara airport, but it was Santa Barbara to Dallas. Well, we get there, we're waiting, about to board, and they're like, something is wrong with the plane. The plane had just like landed like within the last hour with people coming from I don't know where, but it had just landed with people, that same plane, and they had found something like on landing that was problematic. To this day, 2 days later, I still don't know what was wrong with it. They didn't tell us. They just said that there was a fault. So they kept coming back, and they're like, every 5 to 10 minutes they're giving us an update, and they're like, well, sometimes your car, it won't turn on, and then you restart it, and then it turns on just fine. So let's just hope that's what happens. And I'm like, are you talking about? Like, what is wrong with this plane? Should I not be getting on this plane? Like, so I'm like already nervous about flying. Anyway, I'm like anxious about spending a whole day in the airport. And then this starts going on. Well, we only had an hour between landing and taking off for our next flight. I'm trying to think of this one over here. So I'm like stressed as fuck. Well, sure enough, we missed our connection. So they knew that we were going to miss our connection before we even departed the Santa Barbara airport, which they eventually fixed it after like their mechanics manager came out and was like, everybody, I would ask you to please do a good luck dance right now. Cross your fingers. And we will hope that we can get in the air soon. And I'm like, I do not need the mechanics person telling me to do a good luck dance before I get on a plane. Like, terrifying. Thank you, no. So anyway, that happened. So we eventually did get on the flight. They knew we were going to miss our connection, so they said they put a standby for a flight out of... I had to find coverage for today. Thankfully, my partner was able to come in and cover me. She was able to get a babysitter, and she was off today, so we just switched days. So next week, I'll go work her Tuesday. She worked my Monday this week. So, I mean, it worked out okay. I hate doing that because I hate doing the 5 days in a row the next week when we have to swap like that, but it is what it is. It's fine. I was just grateful that she could do it. So, in any case, they said they were going to put us on a standby for a flight that would leave leave Dallas today, Monday, at 2:30, and we would arrive back in Pittsburgh at 8:30. And I'm like, well, that's not ideal, but that's fine. That's what we can do, whatever. Or no, I guess it was 2:30 to 6:30. It was supposed to be a direct flight. So we land in Dallas, go to the customer service booth, stand in line for like 20 minutes, and find out, no, they can't get us on that flight. They can get us on one that leaves at 4:30 and gets us home at 8:30. I'm like, as long as we get home at this point, I don't really care. And she's like, I'll put you standby for the 11:30 flight, but you'd have to be at the airport. And I'm like, so if they can't get on the standby one, then we're at the airport from like 10 o'clock until this other one leaves at 4:30. We're like, what the fuck? So anyway, I'm like, well, that's fine. They said, they'll put us up in a hotel. No problem. I'm like, thank you. And then I'm like, well, where do we pick up our bags? And she goes, you can't get your bags. And I'm like, what do you mean we can't get our bags? She's like, well, it will take hours. Then we find out our bags had already been put on a plane to Phoenix. The plane went from Dallas to Phoenix to Charlotte, and then it got put on the plane in Charlotte that we actually took home today. And no, they were earlier. It got put on a morning plane to Charlotte. That's right. Because our baggage arrived at 9:30 this morning, and we did not arrive until 1:30. So I was like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Because like husband's medicine is in there and all my clothes are in there. And I was like, I had this all planned out. I'm like, okay, if we can't leave until 4:30, Liza's covering me. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to work on my pictures and my bullet journal and just kind of like relax. We got late checkout at 2 p.m. from the hotel. I'm like, I'm going to make this work. It's not going to be ideal. Then we found out we can't even shower. We can't change our clothes. We can't shower. We have none of our stuff. And I'm like, okay. Pivot again. What the fuck do we do next? The good news is 7-Eleven can deliver you wine in Texas. So we got wine delivery from 7-Eleven, and then we got dinner delivery from this steakhouse. It actually ended up being really good. But while we're doing this, I planned on like, okay, I'm gonna order a bunch of extra food because we're gonna need breakfast in the morning and then, you know, probably lunch before we get to the airport. So I'll just order extra and we'll just heat it up in the morning and reheat it and eat it. During that time, husband goes on the website and finds out that there is a 6:30 a.m. flight from Dallas to Charlotte and Charlotte to Pittsburgh that would get us home at 1:30. And I'm like, why didn't anybody tell us this last night? Like, or this was last night, like 2 hours prior to this. Like, it just, everything that could get fucked up got fucked up. So we switched to that flight. So I'm like, oh, terrific. We're gonna be home in the afternoon. We get to the airport in the morning, which is a debacle in itself. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I bought Layla dog treats. They went through the original TSA in Santa Barbara, no problem. TSA today in Dallas, like, took it out and did that swabby thing on it. Like, I don't know if they thought we put grass in the dog treat. I don't understand. But anyway, they had to check the dog treats and they had to double check my laptop even though we're TSA pre-check. And I was like, why did none of this flag from the other TSA? I didn't change anything. So anyway, we finally get through everything, go to get on our plane. board the plane, looks like we're leaving on time, and then they go, our plane does not have the necessary amount of fire extinguishers or the bracket to hold the fire extinguisher, so we have to figure out what's going on. They couldn't even tell us what they were gonna do. Like, were they able to fix that? Were we gonna have to get off, get on a new plane? What was gonna happen? We only had an 80-minute layover to connect to our flight that was at the other end of the terminal when we got to fucking Charlotte. And I was just like ready to cry. Like, I was literally in tears on the plane. Finally, they took the equipment off of another plane that wasn't being used, put it onto our plane. It ended up delaying us only about an hour, and they made up time in the air somehow because we caught a tailwind. So we ended up making our connection, but it was so stressful. And I was like, we get on this third plane and I'm like, well, now what? Now what is going to happen? But it was fine. The third plane was fine. Got home okay, made it home, and I just passed out. I took a shower, and then, we had Layla. My parents came to the airport and brought Layla with them, and I just was like, I'm just gonna lie down for an hour, and then I'm gonna go for a run, and I just passed out for 3 hours. I was just out, could not open my eyes. Finally got up, and then it took me an hour and a half to even get moving to go running. So that was a long story, but that is what happened in the last 24-ish hours. I guess 36 hours at this point. But it was just so much stress. I hate whenever something interferes with work, and we've never had a problem with this flight ever, and it just was this perfect fucking storm of everything. So I guess part of it is because they're flying less planes, or they're flying planes that haven't been flown in a while. They're bringing them back into circulation after the pandemic slowed down travel. Now the travel's picking up again. I don't know. Anyway, let me write some shit in here. Let me actually plan for a minute. Also, Charlotte's airport code is CLT, and I just am 12 years old and I think about that. Okay, what's some other stuff that's going on in my life? I don't even know. I did go for a run tonight. I just did 4 miles. I'm getting really antsy because I didn't run on the trip at all. I ran. What am I gonna do? This is gonna be food, and this is gonna be okay. I ran. I was supposed to do a long run, and I just felt my stomach was just not feeling good the entire trip. I think because we went from we haven't been eating out at all except for the Cage, which is a salad, or occasionally we get pizza. And then we went to eating really rich food every day, which was delicious, and I don't regret it, but there was a day that I ate so much at brunch that I actually had chest pains. That shouldn't happen. So I was not feeling good. I didn't hydrate at all. I took such shit care of my body on vacation. I just absolutely did. I wasn't drinking a ton. I would have maybe 2 glasses of wine. There was one night we had cocktails for dinner, and I had 2 cocktails at dinner. I'm thinking of hydrating, and I'm pulling my cup out. That was over the course of 3 hours and a big dinner. So it's not like we were drinking a ton or anything like that. I wasn't hungover, but I just was my body was not used to what I was putting it through, and it was not a good scene. So I was supposed to run 12 miles, and I just was emotionally not there, physically not there, definitely not well hydrated enough to run double-digit miles. So I ended up just doing a 4-mile run down the beach. This is so crooked. Why didn't anybody tell me it was so crooked? And now it's stuck like that forever. Oof. Okay. So, yeah. So, we are gonna go, husband's watching a movie, and then he's gonna go pick up our stuff. Okay, start unpacking. I did that. Film plan with me. I'm doing that right now. I'm not gonna get unpacking finished. I don't know when I will. It's fine. All right, tomorrow is husband's birthday, so I should put a sticker down for that. So I'm gonna talk, now's the part where I'm gonna talk about my issues with body pain. Okay, cool, good stuff, right? So if you don't wanna hear about these things, which I totally understand, just mute it or fast forward until you see me do the sign that means everything is okay, which is this. When you see this again, know that it's okay to come back, right? Okay, I'm gonna put in here husband's birthday. So Yeah, I have always struggled with self-hate has been a big part. And I've talked about that a lot in terms of like everything in general. But relating to my body, it has been a big problem in my life. I have always felt like I'm fat. Even times when I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I was so skinny. What was I thinking? I have always looked in the mirror and seen my flaws, only my flaws and my fatness. Even when looking back on it, I'm like, I was not fat then. What the fuck was I thinking? It's something I've struggled with for a long time. I've talked to my therapist about a lot of the things that I struggle with, as everybody knows, but I have not felt comfortable talking to her about that kind of stuff because she is not a fit or thin body type, and so I feel weird having, like, objectively being thinner and talking to somebody about my issues with my weight and how I feel when I look at myself. If that makes sense. So it's been hard for me because I really haven't been able to talk about it in therapy. So vacations often bring this into full focus. Full focus, that's the word. So that's kind of what happened on this trip, is that I felt like very, I bought new outfits, I went up in size and everything so that way it fit better. I have gained weight. This is the long and short of it. I have gained weight over the course of the pandemic. I am now, as of today, I was 192 pounds. I'll see what I am like a couple days after vacation and see if it comes down. But I think I'm struggling with my body image, but I'm also struggling with my abilities as a runner right now. And I think part of that is because of the weight gain. I just don't have the same kind of stamina. Like, I'm still putting in a lot of miles, but they're much slower and more difficult. And in the last month, I have had several runs where I just haven't felt well. And so I have cut my runs short or really struggled through them. Like, it's been, I don't know. It has not been great. And so I know I need to do something. And I don't think that I have like a ton of weight to lose. I have probably solidly 30 pounds. Like, when I was working with a nutritionist, my goal was 160 pounds based on my athletic level and my height. That was the goal that she set for me, was that she wanted me to get to about 160 pounds. I never did. I got down to like 170, and I would be happy with that right now. But yeah, I just need to really get, I don't know. It's a combination of, I know a lot of this is like, I don't look as bad. Like, if I told a friend, I feel like I'm so fat today, they would say, you are not so fat today. And they would say, like, logically, I can parse this out and be like, yes, I am like overweight on a BMI scale, and like, I could be in better shape, but I know I'm not like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time putting this into words, but when I look at myself, if I saw another person who was built like me, I would be like, they look good. But looking at myself, I don't see that. Part of that is tied into the self-esteem issues that I always have and the self-hate issues that I always have. Like, that's all intertwined, and I know that. But I'm really struggling, and I'm also physically not feeling well. And that's like the tipping point. It's like, I can work through the looking at myself and feeling like I look bad thing, because I've dealt with it for so many years, and I know that some of it is my anxiety lying to me and all of that. Like, I can get through this stuff, but I'm physically feeling bad. I have really bad heartburn. My runs are really they've been garbage. Like, they just don't feel good. I don't feel good. So I want to commit to trying to eat healthier, trying to be more diligent about tracking my macros, and trying to lose this weight that I need to lose. So I feel weird talking about it because I know that somebody would look at me and be like, well, you're not actually fat, or but I also know that, like, that doesn't mean that what I see is good and what I feel when I look at myself is good. So I feel like I want to do a video where I talk more about this and like what it feels like and what I do. I don't think that I have ever really like had a situation with disordered eating, but I have definitely had a situation with disordered body image and body dysmorphia. And when I was like in better shape and felt better physically, it was easier for me to just go through like the same kind of process that I go through with my anxiety and say like, this is your brain. This is not what is reality. You know, your brain is telling you this thing and it's not actually what you look like or feel like, you know, like it's just your brain working against you. But now that like the numbers on the scale show like, yes, you are definitely overweight according to BMI. And I know BMI is problematic and garbage in a lot of ways, but like it's still, every time I go to the doctors now, I have to hear that I'm overweight, not from my doctor herself, but like we get a printout of like your health and wellness, you know, and it's on there. So it's harder for me to work through the mental part of it because I'm physically not feeling well. My runs are struggling, and I have now data that says like, oh, actually you are overweight now. You weigh 192 pounds. Like that's a lot for your height. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense or not. And I feel guilty when I feel, it's very complicated because I feel guilty that I feel overweight and that I don't like the way that my body looks. Because I feel like the body positive movement would be like, well, you don't look that bad. And I'm like, but I feel that bad. And I don't know how to balance it right now. I don't know if I'm making sense. In any case, since I'm not in a place right now where I know what to do mentally beyond like mindfulness and that kind of stuff, like I want to work on eating healthier and taking better care of my body and all of those things. Like, I feel like I don't like what I see when I look in the mirror anymore. Like, I feel like I used to be able to like dress myself up and it would be okay. And now I feel like every time I look in the mirror, I feel that self-hate coming in, and I am fixated on the fact that I have gained so much weight. And so I want to work on that, but I want to do it in a healthy way that I don't obsess over it. And I don't think that I have never obsessed in the point that it made me like change my eating habits or like not eat enough or, you know, that kind of thing. But I obsess over it in a way that it makes me go down the self-hate and feel like good whenever I insult myself, if that makes sense. That's what I talk about. Like when I say like, I don't think that I have gone to the situation of disordered eating, but I have definitely gone to the situation of disordered body image and how I feel about myself. Okay, my battery crapped out, so that means I'm done talking. So I've clearly talked about this too long. In any case, I don't want it to make it seem like I'm making light of being overweight or anything like that, or I don't know. I don't want to make it seem like I'm like fishing for a compliment or something like that. This is where I am. I have to get more comfortable with my body, but I also am not feeling well. And so I know I need to take better care of my body too. I know it's just not all in my head right now. And it's hard to balance the reality of like, no, you've been not taking care of your body. And yes, some of it is in your head though. It's a weird place that I am right now. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. If you have been muted, now is your time. You can come back. I'm done talking about it. Thank you. Okay. So let me dive in to this. Where I'm going with that is that I want to make healthy eating and taking better care of my body a big priority right now because I'm just not feeling good physically or mentally. So that being said, Wednesday is the day. There is meal plan. What else is on Wednesday? I don't know what my fitness is going to be. So we like to run on Wednesday nights, but this Wednesday is supposed to be like 28 degrees and maybe snowy, right? Like what the fuck? So I'm just going to put in my stickers for fitness here and for dinner here. I think we're just going to do like chicky patties. I'm not going to put it in here, but I think we're going to do that. Tomorrow we're actually going to go to the cage, since we can do that now since we're vaccinated. And I need to reschedule my blood donation. I'm supposed to donate blood on Monday, but now that I switched with Liza and I'm working Tuesday, I don't want to work the day after I donate just because sometimes I'm like really tired and foggy. So reschedule that for my next week off. My run tonight was good. It was like one of my better runs that I've had. I only had time for 4 miles because I had to get this filmed. But, okay, and then I want to film my memory week. That's right. I want to do that too. I felt stronger on the run tonight. I think because like and it was beautiful out, and I was just like, you know what? This is where we are. So, but I just have really been really struggling. Like I feel very nervous about the prospect of running Eagle Up in June, and I've really been thinking about that I need to defer. And also I found out that like a lot of the people that I was planning on running with are deferring this year again. So I have a lot of conflicting emotions, and I just like, but I want to be there with my friend, but I'm like, I don't know, I just don't feel like I'm ready, and I'm scared, and I don't know. I have a lot of emotions right now. I don't like it. So Layla Grace on Thursday, she has a play date at daycare with her boyfriend Fritzy. She hasn't seen him since the pandemic started. No, that's not true. She saw him for her birthday in August, but that's it. Okay, CSA comes today. I have therapy. My last session with my therapist because she's retiring. Oh, so sad. So sad. But she's gonna set me up with a new therapist, and it's gonna be somebody that she trusts, so that's good. Orthodontist, I start my Invisalign on Thursday, and then I have to run, so I'll put a sticker in for running. I don't know what we're gonna do about food. I feel like maybe I should do something like, maybe I should make that like Instant Pot chicken pot pie or something like that, something easy on my mouth, because I don't know how my mouth is going to feel starting the Invisalign, so we'll see. Okay, so that's the bulk of what I have for this week. I work the next 2 days. I have my meal planning. Husband's birthday, we're not really doing anything. We did his big, dinner celebration on Saturday night at this. Oh my God, the food was so fucking good. It was amazing. And that was in San Luis Obispo. So yeah, we're not really doing anything for the actual day. We both work, so just be another day. He can pick the movie that last time on his birthday, I think he picked Demolition Man. Like, I love him, but Okay, so dogs on Friday, then I have to go get mulch. And I put a note here that says, go get mulch. And then I wrote only mulch in capital letters because I really want to pick out other garden stuff, but I know I'm not ready. So the big thing for the day on Friday, as long as plan my vlog situation. So let me talk about that for a second. Normally I do my vlogs Wednesday to Tuesday, but on vacation, I did it a little bit differently because I did everything up until the day we left. So I did it up through Thursday was the vlog that I edited while we were on vacation, came out that week. Which was another situation in itself because I couldn't get enough Wi-Fi to actually post it for 3 days. I finally got enough on Sunday morning and I was able to post it. I was like, geez, I can't even upload stuff. So anyway, but I took so many videos. I feel like it's gonna be way too long. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do maybe is to break it up and do like one vlog of just Joshua Tree, one vlog of Big Sur, like do it like that maybe. So that's planning that out is the goal here. And then I want to spend most of the day working in the garden. I should have not like put that as a big thing. I'll put it here, okay. I want to do the herb garden, the Lucy's ferns, and what the fuck are those things called? Coral bells. My coral bells, I have to mulch that area. Okay, so those are my 3 things that I want to work on in the garden. And then, I don't know, I'm trying to get some miles in to make up for the miles that I didn't do, which may come to bite me in the ass. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to try to do, my goal for the weekend is 15 on Saturday and 8 on Sunday. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see how that pans out. I don't know what everybody else is doing. I know Em is going to be out of town and Christy works. I got to see what Monica and Yvonne and Ellen and Kara, like our other regular weekend runners, are up to right now. So, you know, just runner things. And we got to figure out what day we're actually doing the marathon. We're doing the virtual Pittsburgh Marathon. And we had like tossed around a couple different ideas and never settled on anything, so that's something we need to figure out. So these are my runs for sure. I'm not gonna put the distance in because, you know, things change as the week goes on, and I just have not been feeling good. And I know part of this is because I'm not fueling properly and taking good care of my body. So trying to get better about that. Oh, we ate so many good things though on vacation, and I didn't want to be like, you have to diet on vacation, because what the fuck's the point, you know? Okay, Saturday is cheese night. See, I'm not doing entirely restrictive stuff. We got our cheese of the month like the day before we left on vacation, so hopefully that's still all good. And that's really all I have. I want to put away my Easter decorations for sure. And then I want to get back on track with my like daily morning routine, which I obviously couldn't do this morning. So, okay. Pretty good. It's you know, it's a start. This weekend, I don't know what to expect. I know that we're gonna have cleaning to do, like so much, you know, unpacking stuff from the trip, cleaning up what we couldn't get before we left, and putting away, I want to put away my like Easter and spring decorations that are out. I guess I can leave my spring decorations out. I just need to put away my Easter decorations. So, yeah. Okay. I didn't mean for this to be a bummer. I'm in a bad headspace right now, and I know that's, I don't know, I feel better having started this draft of these plans. I know that, like, you know, the weekend is wide open there, but I feel better that I like drafted out the things that I know that are coming up, and that will help me going forward. So the big thing is going to be the meal plan and trying to get back on track and trying to work through my emotions with all of that. So there we go. Okay, so thank you everybody for watching. Like I said, I'm sorry this week was a bit of a bummer and I'm just not in a great mental space right now. You would think coming home from vacation I would be, but just not feeling well physically, and that is making me not feel well mentally. And I always don't feel a little well mentally because anxiety disorder. So I'm doing the best that I can, one day at a time. I really want to tell you about the trip, so please check in for that video on Thursday. That's going to be a much more upbeat, plan with me style video, because I'm going to go through this week and fill in the things that we did every day, just to give you like a little overview. Obviously with the vlogs coming out, that's going to give like a great picture of everything that we did. It was really fun. We did almost everything was outdoors entirely. It felt super safe. The two things that we did indoors were like perfectly spaced, very, very good attention to detail, felt very safe. Plus, we're vaccinated. The hardest things were like being in the airport, honestly. And even that, like we wore N95s, everybody was wearing masks in the airport. Like, it was as safe as it could get in this situation. So I really want to tell everybody about that. That would be much more uplifting than my discussions about how I hate my body. Hey, but you know what? Maybe somebody identifies with that. Maybe somebody else feels the way that I feel and has gone through similar kinds of struggles. So, you know, if you are feeling that kind of way, if you don't like your body, if you look in the mirror and see distorted things than what is actually there, you're not alone. And we got this. We're gonna get through this, okay? Anxiety and depression and self-hate are all things that our brain does to lie to us, and we can work through this. I believe in all of us, okay? All right, I love you all. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new here. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you in my next video.